Welcome, everybody. This is obviously an exciting time of the year. So it seems like yesterday we were in here after the Super Regionals, which is the last time we can meet in here during the season, and here we are, opening week, just a few days away. So this is going to be a lot of fun, and this is an exciting time, and we're ready to kick this thing off.
What is it? Let's talk about this time of year with so many new faces, and kind of how the spring has been to kind of put some guys into the puzzle piece.
It's fun for the coaching staff. I mean, it's really challenging. This program is built on developing guys, getting them to play at a high level. That All-American wall, something we're really proud of. Getting guys ready for pro ball, ready to move through a pro system. I mentioned almost $21 million in signing bonuses the last 2 years. And so this is going to be, kind of a yearly thing where we've been able to turn over a lot of guys. We got to get new guys ready to play. So I really don't want to sit behind a microphone and cry that we're young. That's the way it is. We'll play 2 to 3 juniors in the lineup every day. We'll play 5 or 6 sophomores in the lineup every day. We'll play 1 or 2 freshmen in the lineup every day, and that's what our kids want, and that's what the signees want. The new kids coming. But we feel like this group was prepared. I mean, we saw this coming down the road, and we prepared Logan Wyatt to play first base. We prepared Justin Levy to play third base. We prepared Tyler Fitzgerald to play shortstop, as well as all the other sophomores that got to play last year and got their feet wet and helped us get to Omaha, and now they get a chance to expand their role and be everyday guys.
Dan, I think you only got 3 kids who had 100 at-bats last year, so how much of an offensive overhaul is this going to be for you?
Coach Snyder, Coach Rabel do an awesome job with the hitters, and you look at the trend of our program. You'd love to have a Brendan McKay, a National Freshman of the Year, but that just doesn't happen often. You'll have a couple freshman All-Americans year in and year out, but it's the sophomores. It's their time. It's their time to be everyday guys and have that breakout year, that Corey Ray breakout year, that Nick Solak breakout year. That typically it's when sophomores is that time where a lot of guys, at least our superstars in college baseball, have had the breakout years, and we're confident that this group's ready. They learned a lot last year. They played with obviously a lot of great players. They all went off in the summer leagues and had some success this summer, and then they've worked extremely hard. We've been very demanding. Toughness was our book in the summer and to start the fall, and that was physically and mentally, making sure this group was tough-minded, ready to endure the challenging schedule that we have every year, the 30 ACC games, the SEC and Big Ten schools that we get to play because of our geography, and then hopefully get ready, for obviously a challenging postseason.
Your outfield is one of the strengths of the team last year. Looking at your expected starters, Josh is the only one returning there, and you've got an Orr in there as well. What's the competition been like that, and how are they looking?
There's a lot of competition, yes. Last year that was very comforting for me as a coach. We feel like we had 4 center fielders running around out there with Lyman, Taylor, Summers, and Stores. And so now Josh is anchored down center field. He's been great. He got to play with Corey Ray and obviously Logan Taylor and those other older guys. So, he's ready. He's been a great leader, and he's the captain of the team, but he's also especially the outfielders. So young guys. In right field, you got Elliott and Stringer, 2 sophomores that have both done a really nice job, and they'll both get opportunities this first weekend. In left field, Drew Campbell is a talented junior college outfielder that can play any one of the 3 spots, similar to Josh, as well as Oriente and Jake Snyder. So that's what the first month of the season is. These guys have earned the right to play, and they'll get the opportunity to play. And let's just mix and match and see what the best combinations are and who gets hot and who's healthy, and try to put that lineup together. You like to feel like you have it set going into the first weekend, but you also realize it's a lot different when the lights are on. You know, I can, even for me as a coach, I mean, I'm watching these other teams, Richmond and the Citadel and George Mason, I'm watching them on video, and there's a different feeling in my stomach when you start to realize, okay, man, it's on. I mean, you're about to play somebody in that other dugout, and it's not meet in center field and talk about what you did right or wrong in the scrimmages. It's one team wins and one team loses. And so for me, that brings the competitive juices out. And that also makes me not get too high and not get too low on guys. Let's give them a chance in these first 10, 15 games to get their feet wet, and let's see how they do. And it's our job as coaches to coach them, get them to improve, and get them to play at a high level.
Do you think there's going to be more of that tinkering than usual with the beginning of the season? I think you got a few guys last year who played 63, 64, 65 games.
Yeah, probably so. With the outfielders that are all competing for the opportunity to play, Romero is our starting catcher, so that's a new role for him. Zach Britton is a super talented freshman behind him. We got to get those two catchers. We've always done a nice job with two catchers and sometimes even three, you know, if we have to. And you know, I want to reward the guys who've earned the right to run out there and play. And, you know, with only two returning starters in Stores and Mann, you know, those two still had to play well and earn their spots, and they did at a high level. But, you know, the other 7 spots on the field, it's competition. And we evaluate last year, the summer, the fall, spring training, and so this group of 10 or so guys, 10, 11, 12 guys are fighting for those 7, 8 spots.
How much do you enjoy the challenge of riding the guys who are hot, mixing and matching, as opposed to plugging guys in like you have been able to in years past?
I mean, it's fun. I'm not one of those guys that, I mean, I don't sleep great during the season. It's not necessarily who should bat first and who should bat fourth. That doesn't. I don't write down 22 lineups in a day. What keeps me up at night is, you know, motivating the kids, coaching the kids, tinkering with the kids, and am I doing enough to help them succeed at a high level? And so I'm excited for the challenge. I think as a coaching staff, as a program, I mean, we addressed it. I mean, we addressed it as soon as we got back from Omaha. We addressed it in the summer, and we addressed it in our first team meeting. So if you walk out of our basement and you walk to the parking lot, on that side of the building, you see the big sign, "I dare you." And that was put in for a reason, you know, that this group's being challenged. We're daring this group. You know, it's been said right now we have the longest super regional streak in the country the last 5 years. So, you know, this group is being dared. Can they make it 6 years in a row? 13 straight semesters, 6.5 years of a team GPA of a 3.0 or higher. So this group's being dared. The winningest program in all college baseball the last 4 years. So this group's being dared. And when I say this group, me as well. Like what I like about motivating our players is the challenge is for me too. The challenge is for myself and our coaching staff and this entire program that we want to keep this going. And it's not easy. It's not easy to do, and we don't take it for granted. And so we want to keep an edge about us and make sure that we're doing everything in our power to help this program continue to move forward.
You always talk about the rotation and having guys waiting in the wings. You had a bunch of guys competing for the weekend. How did it kind of shake out to where you landed on the 3?
It was very healthy. And, you know, Wolf, Thompson, and Jenkins will start this opening weekend. But, you know, as a coaching staff, knowing you have Nick Bennett, who's a freshman All-American last year, and Nick just didn't pitch all fall. He's only thrown in 2 scrimmages. So, in fairness, he's only thrown 5 innings in the last 8 months. You know, Brian Hoeing is a super talented pitcher who is competing for one of those spots. And he'll get his opportunities. And then Reed Detmers, you know, is a really talented freshman that we felt that those 6 guys, and there's probably others, but those 6 guys were fighting for those 3 spots. And as Coach Williams met with those guys and talked to them, it's just the first weekend. Those midweek games are tough, so whoever's starting the midweek games, I mean, that's where Cade McClure made his start and had an All-American year there. And when you look at the schedule right out of the chute, you got Eastern Kentucky at home. So you got these in-state rivals. You got Morehead State at home. You got Xavier at home. You know, Morehead State was in our regional a few years ago. Xavier was in the regional finals last year. And then, of course, you got Texas Tech, you know, a super regional team. And so, you know, even those, just because you're not starting on the weekend, man, that fourth and fifth starters are huge in college baseball. And obviously we all have the utmost confidence and trust in Coach Williams will get these guys ready and make sure that they're healthy and they're competing and they're giving us a chance to win.
Dan, kind of a two-part question. Tom Jurich was such a great supporter of this program, and you guys are still close, I'm assuming. What's it going to be like this season, you know, without him in the role he's been in? And then also, what have your interactions been like with Vince Tyrek?
Yeah, you know, I think when Tom was let go this fall, you know, I made it very clear to the team, what do we challenge our kids to do? Leave this place better than when you found it. And if anybody showed us that, it was Tom Jurich. And he poured his heart and soul into this athletic program and into our baseball program, and he left it in great shape. So as I know he would want us to succeed and to continue moving forward. As soon as Vince got here, he walked out to the field, he met with the baseball team. I'm sure it's always comforting when players know that he played baseball and he lived this college experience, and he was one win away from going to Omaha. And hearing his story is very comforting, I know, to our players and our program. So, you know, he's competitive and he's going to support us. And, you know, again, you lose Brendan McKay, you don't want to take a step back. And you lose a Tom Jurich, yeah, I mean, we don't want to take a step back. And that's a credit to those guys, but that's what happens in our program every year, that we lose great players, and we want to keep this thing going.
On that note, the new AD has talked about continuing the expansion and improvements at Patterson Stadium. What's the latest on that?
Yeah, we met briefly, and we'll meet again in a couple weeks. I think right now our number one priority was a pro locker room. We've got 36 guys currently playing professional baseball, and we want to be able to house them. And Aaron and Ashley Flaker gave the lead gift for that. So we'd like to get the pro locker room done. The expansion talks have been going on for a couple years, and I haven't had a chance to sit down with Vince in length, but obviously there's been a foundation, there's been ideas thrown out there, and I'm anxious to see what he thinks we should do. I'm obviously going to give my opinion as where we can help this facility and this program. So, you know, I'm confident that, you know, we'll continue to move forward and make sure we continue to make this one of the best places in the country to play college baseball.
What? Talk about Adam Wolf. Why Friday night in the opening weekend for him?
You know, Wolf has been, it's a little bit like a Chad Green scenario. Chad was kind of a bullpen guy and was so valuable early in his career. And you got to have those guys in the fifth or sixth or seventh inning in a weekend series. And that's the swing game. You're going to win that game or win the series based on an inning or two somewhere in one of those games. And Coach Williams, you know, used Adam in that role. A big left-hander. He was first out if it was the Friday game or the Saturday game. And so he just continued to work, continued to improve his breaking ball stuff. And I think for Coach Williams it was, you want to make sure a guy can turn over the lineup. You want to make sure a guy can get through the lineup 2 times. Then let's see if he can get through the lineup 3 times. And we just wanted to give Adam that opportunity. And he did that. He did that with passing colors all fall and into the spring training. And he's a captain. He's been thrown to the fire, as I like to say. As a freshman, I can remember running him out of the bullpen on a Friday night against Virginia with runners on base. I mean, it's just in the Cape Cod League this summer, he was super valuable for Chatham. And, you know, he's ready. He's worked his tail off. He's super talented, and he's one of the high-profile pitchers, if you call it that pro baseball is rightfully so very interested in. You know, there's a group of 5 or 6 of those guys that are going to be fun for those pro guys to follow.
What about Sam Bordner? What have you seen from him this offseason?
just continue to improve and settle in that closer role. He was such a great bridge to Lincoln Hensman. You know, Hensman was the bridge to Birdie, and Bordner was able to bridge to Hensman last year. And so Sam is also a captain, continues to work hard, has improved his body. You know, he's like, we use the phrase, be professional. And he's the epitome of that. And he takes great pride in being prepared and running out there. So we feel really good. Sam, you know, what a streak he had down the postseason. Those numbers were video game like, and that just doesn't happen in college baseball, especially against the NCAA teams, the best teams in the country. So Austin Conway will kind of be the bridge to Bordner. Austin Conway was a terrific pitcher at Indiana State, and he graduated. He's in our law school. Really neat story. I've never coached a kid in law school. And you got to be super bright, but you got to have a ton of self-discipline too to manage your time and get all that reading in and all that work he's doing in law school. So he had a really good fall, very good spring. And he could be that Bordner type where Bordner could close if we needed him to last year. Conway looks like he can close if we need him to. And I'm sure early in the year, Coach Williams, he does a phenomenal job of not overusing guys and giving guys opportunities. You know, Brendan McKay's got a save. Well, I guess he might have got a win in relief, but, you know, McKay started out of the bullpen, and we used McKay to close a couple years ago when Birdie was not 100%. So you got to have guys step up. You know, I mentioned 6 or so guys in this meeting, but, you know, we feel like we got 10 to 12 that are really going to contribute.
Devin Mann's a guy you're looking to have step up, and not only at the plate and in the field, but also as a leadership role. What's he shown you since the season ended, you know, taking that responsibility?
I think when you get to this point of your career, it's you trust the process and your preparation. You can see the confidence he has in what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. He believes in what he's doing. And when you have that, it's a lot easier to talk to the younger guys. And so if you've watched our scrimmages, or I'm sure you'll see it during the games, I mean, he's always talking to the younger hitters. You know, that's what you love about the older players. You know, we use the phrase from Dr. Elko, the front of the room has to lead the back of the room. The front of the room are the leaders, are the older guys. I mean, you know, I tease the players and the coaches at times, you know, where I can't do everything, you know, like I can't do everything. Like we need guys to help, everybody to help. And but nothing's more valuable than older players coaching younger players. And Devin is one of those. He's our extra coach right now on the field. And you could see him pouring into the infielders, and you could see him pouring into the hitters.
Any significant rule changes?
We got a little more with video replay. So there's a few more options where we can use the video like we've used in the postseason, and we're going to be able to take advantage of that. You know, we're trying to improve the pace of play in college baseball, and a couple leagues have pitch clocks, 15 seconds, 20 seconds. The ACC is experimenting with an earpiece this year. So like a quarterback has an earpiece, and the offense coordinator can call the play, a catcher can have an earpiece, and the pitching coach can call the pitch. Now that's only in ACC games. The SEC also has that. And, you know, we're trying, just like MLB's doing. Pace of play is a hot topic. You know, we got to keep the fans engaged. We got to get this game under 3 hours and maximize our TV slots. And, I mean, I've always said it, you know, what makes the Kentucky game a great game is there's 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 fans. So you got to keep the fans happy. And I don't blame them. They want some quicker games. And we can do our part. I mean, there's definitely things we can do, and MLB's experimenting and college baseball is experimenting to speed it up a little.
Yeah, and Kendall Rogers wrote a feature about members of the ABCA meeting with the Commissioner of Baseball, and you were part of those meetings. Yeah. What did you take away from those meetings?
Man, that was really cool to go to New York City, meet with Rob Manfred and his staff. I was blown away. I was blown away by his support of college baseball, and what he's trying to do to help college baseball. And I was very intrigued by, he's trying to make changes for the betterment of the game. And that's the thing about baseball. We can't be afraid to make changes. We can't. I don't care that they did it 50 years ago. That doesn't mean it's right. That's we have a baseline in foul territory and a base in fair territory. But a guy gets called for running out of the baseline, yet the base is not in line with the base path. It's like things I just scratch my head. Why? Because we've done that for 50 years. I think it's ridiculous. They changed the catcher rule at home plate, which they should have when Buster Posey got hurt. They've improved the slide rule at second. My take, I played football. If you're that tough, play football. Slide straight into the base. Really, I don't know where you get the macho because you could slide 10 feet off the base and try to take out somebody's legs. I don't see. Well, we did it 50 years ago. Well, it was a stupid rule, my opinion. Really. So what I left there excited about was they're on the cutting edge. There's things that we can do to improve the game. Improve the game. Why wouldn't we want to improve the game? We say it's the greatest game in the world. So I was super psyched that he was all about college baseball. He's trying to partner with college baseball. They're trying to do things at the big league level, minor league level, and so are we to help the great game of baseball. So I think it's our part as ambassadors of the game. I think it's our part. I hope we can get the NCAA on board. I think from leaving the MLB office, my thought was, wow, college baseball wants this. Hopefully ADs want this and commissioners want this. MLB wants this. NCAA needs to get on board because this is the right thing to do. And that's a whole nother topic with scholarships and minority opportunities and things of that nature that we need to address. There's things we can improve college baseball and improve the lives of these young men and give them an opportunity. So hopefully they listen because I think we're going to make some headway the next couple of years.
Time for one more. How are you feeling about starting your second decade here?
Man, that makes me sound old. And when you say second decade, it's, when you're having fun, time flies. So for me, it doesn't seem like a long time. This is, it feels like yesterday. I was coaching Boomer Whiting and Dan Burton and Tristan Magnuson and Chris Cates and Logan Johnson. And, if I don't say everybody's name, I'm going to offend somebody. But that first group in 07, it's amazing how time has flown. And I like saying those names, and I love talking about the players of the past, and I love pointing out the All-American wall because it's about them. It's not about me. This is about them. So it's been a lot of fun, and these guys have built this program, and I'm excited about this group, and that's why I dare this group to do their part to uphold